This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Wisdom Podcast, where business owners making mid-five figures or more share their wisdom. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes because transforming possibility leads to reality. So let's get to it. Question number 1. In a few sentences, tell me who you are and what you do.
My name is Chris Coddington. I'm an Army veteran. I help coaches and consultants social sell on LinkedIn without being that spammy, weird person in your inbox.
I love it. I love it. We know there is way too much of that out there, Chris.
There's a fair number of it.
There is. Question number 2. What's the best thing about being in business, Chris?
I think it's freedom. I have a pretty big family. I like being able to set my own schedule and be able to go pick up the kids from school or go to their school functions, or really, if I want to pack up and go somewhere for the weekend with my wife and kids, I can.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Anyone talks about freedom, so you got me right here. Question number 3. We hear from other business owners they're getting so much business that the chaos sometimes is causing overwhelm. Tell me your thoughts on that, Chris.
Well, my initial knee-jerk reaction to that is add a 0 or a comma to what they're charging, and it'll stop that. It'll only take down the serious people. But I totally understand that. When I started this whole thing, I probably undervalued my services a little bit, and it allowed for a multitude of people to come into my world. And I was really on the verge of burnout. But when I drew back a little bit and evaluated what my self-worth was, I was able to only work with the clients that were the best fit for me.
Fit, you just nailed it right there. Fit is huge, isn't it? Love it. Question number 4. What other successful business owners, like yourself, of course, Chris, should be on the Unlimited Wisdom Podcast?
I can think of 2. David Conway, he owns a web design and a whole marketing company all in one, whatever you need. He calls it the A-team of marketing, and they are super good at what they do, and they're super humble about it. And you might reach out to Landon Porter and see if he'll have a conversation with you.
Love it. I love me some Landon. Question number 5. Let's get to the crux of the wisdom. What piece of wisdom would you share with other business owners, Chris?
Because my world's all about client acquisition, I would share with people is to take a real hard look at yourself before you start trading your time for dollars, is to completely understand how to organically market yourself, because you may not actually need paid traffic depending on the price point of the service that you provide.
That is a great point. I was like pausing there for just a little bit more, but that's pretty deep. I would like to dig into that we got a little bit more time, just a little bit more. So I love what you're saying. I've walked through this myself, and that resonates with me. Can you tell me just a little bit more about that, Chris?
So for me, everything's got an ROI on it. Is what's my time worth? What's my money going to make me back in return if I invested in paid advertising? So it really came down to, at what price point do I offer my services that paid traffic may be able to help me? And what I've come to conclude over the past 2.5, 3 years is I'm probably never going to use paid traffic for my services, because I can get all 4 or 5 clients that I want a month by simply going out, being me, and having natural interactions with people. So there's a lot of people that get into this internet marketing business and they're like, oh, I just need $1,000 to market myself. Well, what's 30 minutes a day worth to you? Is that worth $1,000 a month? Know what you're worth and equate it to a formula to get you to where you want to be.
I love that. I absolutely love that message. What is 30 minutes a day worth to you? And what I hear behind the scenes of what you're talking about is social currency, right? Is that?
Yeah. That comes straight from Landon. He's the one that instilled that on me, and I loved it so much I took it into my business, and that's what I invoke onto people as well.
I love it. I love it. Lead gen is so important in business. So I appreciate what you do. Question number 6. What's the most fun vacation you ever had, Chris?
When I was in high school, we went to Spain for 2 weeks, and we traveled from Madrid, Spain to Rota, Spain. over 2 weeks, and the legal drinking age in Spain was 14. I was 14. And so it was awesome experience for me. And I got to see bullfights and, Christopher Columbus's tomb and a lot of history, and just the countryside of that country is absolutely amazing.
I love it. Did you know that I spent 3 years there?
Really? I didn't know that.
I did. I was stationed in Rota for 3 years.
And
for the tribe and listeners in this whole short thing, I had a girlfriend there for 3 years who was a flamenco dancer. So I got to see the entire country on motorcycle. So you just brought me back to some memories, brother.
That's what these are all about, isn't it?
It is indeed. Well, I appreciate you being on, Chris. What's the best way for people to get in touch with you? Is there a website, or how can they reach you easiest?
Find me on LinkedIn. Just search Chris Coddington. I'll come up. Connect with me. Send me a message. Say, hey, I saw you on Brad's podcast or heard you on Brad's podcast. I want to know a little bit more about you. Or go to your group, join the group, and I'm in your group.
There you go. There you go. Come to Unleashed Unlimited. You can find him. I love it. I love it. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate it. This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Wisdom Podcast, where business owners making mid-5 figures or more share their wisdom globally. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Brad.